I'm Neil Hunt. I'm the Digital Content Lead for TV Connect, and I'm here with Emma Mulqueeny OBE from Rewired State. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
So Emma, can you tell us a little bit about Rewired State, more importantly, Young Rewired State?
Young Rewired State, yes, that's why I'm here. I set it up about 10 years ago to bring together those bedroom programmers, the genius, brilliant kids who were just sitting as individuals in their bedrooms, and bringing them together into a community to try and kind of create, or to see what would happen if you got them all together and what they could do, but also to create a bit of a disruption engine, if you like. And so for the last decade, I've kind of been pointing these at various different industries and government, and seeing what they can do, you know, and how they choose to break something to suit them.
Now, obviously, you know, that generation are having a massive impact on the way video is consumed. How much have you worked around that? You know, in the kind of with the bedroom broadcasters, I suppose.
Well, I mean, I guess these kids that are in YRS are more about kind of creating ways for people to consume that, and they are far more about, you know, what's on the cutting room floor and being able to create content out of that. And we all know that actually what kids want to do nowadays is, yes, they want to consume everything on the devices wherever they are, but they also want to be the first to discover stuff, or the first to prove people wrong, because in a digital world where everybody has access to the same thing, everybody shares the same thing on the hashtag, the only way really to get attention is to find something new or different, or prove someone wrong. And so I find that fascinating, the way that they will clip stuff, or they will hunt for content that's available but not being published. So I think that's very interesting. But there is a big difference for me for kids that were born in 1997 and after, and then the kids that were born before 1997. So 1997, those kids are 20 this year. So they're about to become, you know, kind of quite influential consumers. Yeah. And they grew up with social media, and they don't know any different, and so to them this world is completely normal, whereas to everybody that's older than these kids, this is a life that we've adopted and learnt to get used to.
So we've heard a lot of kind of talk over the past 2 days at TV Connect about kind of audience-driven programming and content. Now, do you think that these millennials, you know, you mentioned the 97ers are hitting their 20s now, are they going to turn into their parents, or you know, are they going to settle down and start sitting in front of the television at meal time, say, and all consuming together? Or do you think they've had such an impact that they've changed the kind of way video is consumed forever?
See, I don't buy the line that they don't sit down and watch telly. They do sit down and watch telly, you know, I mean, but they're watching a screen, whether they're watching, normal television, or whether they're watching, you know, streamed television, or whether they're watching YouTube, or doesn't matter, you know, they're sitting in front of that screen, and you know, that is a family behaviour, right? It's different content that's coming through that screen. But and I think obviously as they go through different stages of their life, they're going to use their screens for different reasons, right? When they become parents, they're going to use their screens for different reasons, right? But what I think that we don't know, and the thing that I think would be very interesting to measure and to look at, as well as tracking how these behaviours change as they age, is actually their relationship with the real world. And analog is becoming important to them, and so because, you know, the digital revolution kind of passed them by because they were born into it, they don't find anything magical and mysterious about it at all. It's kind of that's boring. And actually how the analog world fits in is more interesting to them, because that's kind of, you know, the infrastructure of that is all breaking down, and that's where they know that they need to turn their attention. And I think that will change their relationship with screens and with entertainment and with, you know, how they choose to spend their downtime. And that, I think, is going to be really interesting over the next couple of years.
So you do quite a lot of work with data and analytics. Can you tell me a little bit about how that fits in?
I do. So I mean, we work with data all the time. That's what, you know, that's a lot of what these young people are doing, is they're taking data, whether that's images or information, and they're kind of creating products out of that, as well as, you know, learning, you know, querying the data to answer questions. But what's very interesting, and another area that I think is key to this industry as well as many others, is that people's relationship with data is changing. So again, the 97ers, they grew up with this data trade as natural to them, right? They totally understand that with Snapchat, they're giving them their photographs. They don't care. They're giving them their photographs in order to get this free service.
So
to
value
us,
exchange, yeah.
that's uncomfortable, right? We're just like, you're not having our data, but at the same time, we're forever kind of, shelling our data out here, there, and everywhere. So that relationship with our own data is changing. We're becoming, we never really embrace the whole data exchange anyway and find it uncomfortable that people are kind of tracking us, although we do expect them to deliver us exactly what we want in our feed and get very cross if we advertise the wrong thing. But actually, there is a trend, and there is also a trend from young people as well, to actually retain your own data and to, moving into a space where you do actually start to barter that data. And I know that some other industries that we're supporting at the moment, they are actually looking at how to enable that further. And so I think that becomes very interesting for television, because then what you're actually doing is people are, their relationship with their phone or their device that they're using is capturing such personal data that they will be willing to trade. You're going to have to give them something in return, but they're going to trade it. And so that really starts to disrupt the way that products are delivered and created for the individual. And it's just beginning to change. So it's another thing that needs to be watched.
So it's the individual becoming to value their own data more and understand what it's worth. Is that?
And wanting to kind of scrabble it back. So, seeing a lot of instances of people wanting to know what their profile on Google is, or wanting to know what their profile on what does Google or Facebook think about me? What is it? And then just kind of go, no, that's not right. Okay, fine. I will show you what I'm like. I am more like this. And so what people are wanting to do really is to kind of almost have a digital representation of themselves that they are then happy to kind of trade that information, whether that's actually in return for actual money or whether that is in return for service. I don't know yet, but this change is only happening this year.
And where do you think it'll end up? Where are we going to be in 5 or 10 years with this kind of thing? When the 97ers turn 30?
Well, I don't know. I have no idea. I really would be very surprised if they turn into us. If you think of a 97er being the Prime Minister, you think of a 97er being Secretary of State for Education, they're just going to go, right, this is just stupid, let's just do it this way because this is stupid. And they're just going, so I can't wait for that to happen. But I think what is going to have to happen over the next 10 years is that people that are desperately trying to hang on to their business models that just don't work, and trying to find kind of slightly smarter ways to perhaps squeeze out another million or something, but actually it's just not sustainable, those are just going to have to shatter, and they're just new business models are going to emerge that work, where I really think this data trade is going to be the heart of those new business models, and I don't know the answer. But I do know that people are suddenly, everyone is really understanding the value of the data, not just the 97ers. And people are becoming more comfortable with their own data. And I'll give you an example, right? That everybody will understand. Your health records. If you go to a GP, your GP's got some set of records, and you go to the hospital's got a different one, right? If you were the one that was carrying your data around from one to the next, you are the person that has your entire medical history yourself, which is what everybody wants. But at the moment, it doesn't work that way, and people are fighting to make that happen. And that starts there. It starts with some kind of service that matters to everybody, and then suddenly you're just like, okay, and now I have all of this information, and I can make money.
Yeah, brilliant. Emma, thank you very much for
It's
talking
a pleasure.
to us today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.